Hello everyone, my name is Landon and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be doing my review on The Institute, Stephen King's newest release, which got released last week. I devoured this book in 4 days time. I started it on Tuesday, finished it on Friday. I absolutely devoured this book and I loved every second of it. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. Any book reviews that I do, unless it says spoiler review in them, will all be for future reference, and none of them will be spoilers whenever it says book review. So, I'm going to start off with what The Institute's about. Obviously, I'm not going to go into deep spoilers, but I'm going to tell you what it says inside of the flap. So, this book, The Institute, is about a young boy named Luke Ellis, I believe his name is. I read this book last week. Yep. Luke Ellis, and one night, while he's home in bed, his parents are murdered and he is taken away and kidnapped and brought to this place called the Institute. And there they run tests on children that they think and they know they have psychic abilities, mainly telepathy and telekinesis. And Luke has a little bit of both. Throughout the book, we see at the beginning of the book, like when we meet him, he has some telepathy and some telekinesis, and he's also a very smart kid. And throughout the book, we meet a bunch of characters that you'll fall in love with, and I don't cry at books a lot. I never really cry at books. The only other Stephen King novel that I've ever cried at was The Dead Zone, the ending of The Dead Zone. Other than that, I haven't cried at another Stephen King novel until this one rolled around. I'm not going to go into details, obviously, but there's one scene at the end of the book, you'll know it when you get to it, where you'll just be on the floor, you'll be tearing up. That's how good this book is. This book makes you feel so many emotions. You'll be laughing, you'll be crying, you'll be hating the characters, you'll be loving the characters, you'll be cheering for the characters, you'll be not cheering for the characters. And Stephen King brings you through all of these emotions, and it's a really fast read. I went through this book a lot faster than I thought I would. That's one of the upsides about this book, the characters. There's like 6 or 7 of the kids that Luke meets at the Institute that are all great. They all have their own personality. They're written so well. Most Stephen King characters are written very well, but these ones were especially written well, and they really carry the novel really, really well. The plot of this book is also great, because the entire book we're trying to figure out what they want with the kids who have telepathy and telekinesis, like what their plans are, and at the end we get a big explanation of it. And the main antagonist, there isn't really a central antagonist. There are a few antagonists. There's what's her name? The leader of the Institute. What is her name? Her name is Mrs. Sigsbee. That's what I thought it was. Mrs. Sigsbee, but there's also like her assistant. I can't remember what his name was. I literally read this last week. I can't remember any of the characters' names. I went through it so fast. It's a long and complicated name. I bet I could find it. He is mentioned a lot. I bet if I flip to one of these pages, he'll be there. I don't know. It was close to 471. That is the page that I will find his name on, because that is the name that I remember it on. I think I do this in every book review. I just say, hang on, I will be there. Stackhouse, that's what his name. I knew it had something to do with a house. His name is Stackhouse. But there's Mrs. Sigsbee, there's Stackhouse, there's Zeke, there's one of the other female nurses who like always has a smile on her face, but she really has like bad intent. But there's also good characters that come out of the Institute. Like some of like the caretakers feel sorry for the kids and they like give them extra tokens. Tokens are used to like buy snacks and like use it like a laptop at night, which Luke uses to advantage at one point. And there's one specific nurse who basically helps all the kids out, and she really is one of the only nice character or person in the Institute. Like there are some that feel sorry for the characters, but she is the only one who actually like takes care of the kids and helps them throughout. My favorite character in this book, one that we spend the first 40 pages with, is Tim. I really like the way Tim is written, because you go into this book reading the flap, you're like, oh, this kid's gonna get taken to an institute. Maybe it'll be something like Carrie. They'll have telepathy, telekinesis, and all those powers. But for the first 40 pages of this book, we're with a character named Tim that has nothing to do with the storyline until later on. Like, he is introduced in 40 pages. We meet some of his friends that he like gets to know. We get to know a lot about him, and then he disappears and comes back later. And he comes back in a great way. And yeah, that's what's crazy about King. Like, I didn't expect him to put 40 pages of this book, throw in this character, and be like, here, learn all about him. and save it for later. It's literally like studying for a test, and then you go through more lessons, and then the test comes up, and then all that information needs to be used. That's what I loved about this book, was especially Tim's character. Luke's character is also great. We're with him for the entire book, basically, except for those first 40 pages. Luke is a smart kid. He's 12 years old, but he's taking like the SATs and stuff like that. And he's planning on going to MIT, I think was the school. And he's just super smart. And the way that he does things in the Institute is really inspiring, almost, you could say. As for problems go, this book, it did get, I'll say this is the only problem. It did get repetitive at times, but it was only in the span of like 100 pages. There were like a few scenes where like something happens and then it goes on its thing, and then that exact same thing happens maybe like once or twice again, and it kind of got a little repetitive after a while. But the way Stephen King wrote it, it never lost my attention. But like there was one point, like the second time I was reading this scene again, I was like, all right, we already know what's gonna happen. Just let's get on with it. But aside from that, this book is fantastic. This is a major upstep from Elevation. I didn't release an Elevation review, but that is the only Stephen King book that I have ever given a 2-star rating. Even like the Tommyknockers got a 3-star from me. Elevation was the only book that got a 2-star from me. But The Institute, however, I'm going to be giving a 5 out of 5 stars. Much like The Outsider, this book got quickly placed in my top 20 Stephen King books. I believe I put it at number 15 or 16, because I think I have like It around like 14 or 13, and I didn't think it was better than It, but I also didn't think it was worse than the other books that were below It, so it went right behind It. But yeah, The Institute I'm going to be giving 5 out of 5 stars. If you guys have read The Institute already, leave your comments down below what you guys thought of it, and let me know. Yeah, that's it. That's basically it. Let me know what you guys thought of the book down in the comments below. What were your problems with it? There you go. Those were the words I was trying to find. What were your problems with it, if you had any? And if you didn't have any, let me know why you loved the book so much. And if you hated the book, let me know why you hated it. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.